You're listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author Sarah Box, where you get the inside scoop on the steps action takers and decision makers take to align their purpose to their principles and achieve their goals in business and life. We focus on the mantra, no labels, no limits, no excuses. And now, without further ado, please welcome your commanding coach with plenty of chutzpah and heart, Sarah Box.
Hey there, No Labels, No Limits podcast listeners. We have a great guest for you today. Our guest today is passionate about singing, speaking, and hiking or walking. And she covers roughly 50 kilometers a week, or if you're in the miles calculation, about 31 miles a week. That's a lot. And what's great about it is she's passionate about it. So you've actually, if you've been a longtime listener of this podcast, you've met Kristina once before, but that's been back before the pandemic. It was back in 2019, and many things have changed since then, globally, locally, for women in business, men in business, tons of changes. So we're going to get to tap into Kristina and talk about some of those changes. But first, let me remind you who she is, or if you've never met her before, let me give you a little bit of information about her background. Kristina helps business women to connect through social media in the way that they can gain awareness of networking and building their relationships through referral marketing. Her work includes helping small business owners build their online presence by creating their websites and landing pages and developing the corporate identity of their business. Notice the distinction between the two. One is their branding, like their landing pages, their real estate, if you will, and the other is their relationships. Oftentimes you'll get people who know how to do one or the other, but not both. And Kristina can bring the package together for us. She is also the co-author of the book, Global Women in Business, and she helps people achieve their goals and dreams by bringing about transformation in their lives. Most recently, she has started a new partnership with Dr. Terry McIver. We're going to talk about that later in the interview because I have some questions for her around that. But with that, let's welcome back our guest, Kristina Milosevich. Hi, Kristina.
Hi, Sarah. Happy to be here with you today.
So Kristina is actually 9 hours ahead of us. I'm recording this. This is on a Friday at almost noon, a little bit before noon. So it's nighttime for Kristina. So I give her props for being at work in a full day and then being on the podcast because not everybody could do that. I'm not sure I could. So thanks, Kristina.
Thanks, Sarah.
So I want to ask you a question just out of my curiosity in this conversation about how do we kind of have flexibility in our lives and stay healthy, or, like generally healthy. How do you incorporate your passion for singing, speaking, and walking or hiking into your life as busy as you are?
Yes, I really do it. And I'm so passionate about it. And I try to figure that out to put in place everything what give me, when I'm happy, like singing, because I wanna, when I'm so stressful after a long working day, I love to sing or walking, when every time when I have a chance to do it. And also as a freelancer, as a business and digital marketing coach, I'm mostly focused on, let's say, in international market, and mostly speak to people in my nighttime. And people always ask me, Kristina, when do you sleep? Do you have time for sleeping? But to be honest, this is if you're passionate in something, and if that gives you, happiness and satisfaction and income and all kind of things. As I said many times, my job is my passion, is my life, is my love, is my everything. So and today I'm so happy because just imagine I'm in the other side of the world, in Europe, you're in USA, in US, and so just imagine how it's possible technology to be on your podcast today.
I was just saying that to someone yesterday, like how great they were asking what I do, and I don't see them very often. And they said, really? Why do you do that? And I said, oh my God, just think how great it is. I know people all around the globe because we can get on a Zoom or a meeting together. I said, such fast. And then I said, and tomorrow I'm talking to, and I mentioned you. And I said, so how much better can it be than to get to meet smart, interesting people from around the globe? So you're right. It is an energizing thing to do what you're passionate about. Let's talk a bit. I was so curious when I was looking at all the different countries that you work in, and I know you didn't write down all of them, but I was just thinking specifically about Australia, the US, Europe. You're in Belgrade, right?
Yeah, I'm in Belgrade.
And you work in France, right? So you have a sense about a lot of different female business owners. So I'm wondering, what are some of the similarities or differences you're seeing, the people who come to you for help? What are some of the differences across those geographic regions, and what are some similarities? What are people asking you about or for?
Yeah, and when they come to me, maybe when they wanted to build website or something like that, and people in New Australia and USA, sometimes sometimes there is a different approach in something, or let's say this kind of language, not English language, but maybe some procedure, or in different countries, just many people, they want something, but maybe it's going to be difference in price of something, let's say building landing page or creating a website, or in that an approach to the business. Let's say, for example, in Australia, I think that coaching is so crucial, and there are many coaches there, but also in USA. But I think that this kind of knowledge is, or whatever may be. But at the same time, I think that similarities are very, people who wanted to be in a relationship, friendly women, women who wanted to start their business, or if they're just cut off corporate job and they want to start their own business, it is startup, or there are women who are in business, let's say in offline place, and they wanted to lean into to go to online space. So they still have existing business, but they wanted to move online, and sometimes they shy to maybe to pop up video or to speak, or but always they wanted to be on their business journey, and point of view, many things. Let's say if we speak about women approach to many things and to business, and sometimes similarities that there, if you're a mother, if you're a mompreneur, you have kids, you have to handle all these things as a mom, as a woman, as a wife, as a spouse, as a businesswoman. And this is similarity, because all of these ladies in global space in all these countries.
It would be so fun for us all to get on one call with you and just go, we get it. Yeah, we do. So we may have different approaches for what we request of you, or our expectations around pricing, right? But it sounds like we have some similar challenges, just balancing, figuring out how to do all this. Do you feel that our approaches to relation, because you really do help people think about relationship building as well, not just creating a website, but really how do you connect? Do you approach that differently in different countries as well? Or is it similar?
In terms of connections and networking, let's say this is I approach very similar because, if you have someone who is your friend on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or if you have chance to meet new connection on networking, because I attended many networking events and always have chance to meet new people, a new partnership in business. There is and yes, I talk to them, but for the first instance, I approach very similar because I connect with them and say, do we want to have a discovery session call? And this is not mostly online. So yeah, this is that first conversation to build a relationship and to know about this person, and this person wanted to know about me, and then to get deeper inside what we do, how we can collaborate, or and this is I think that, but after that, it could be different, but at the first instance is to connect and do follow up.
So let's talk a little bit more specifically about that, if you would, because I think people understand, like, okay, we need to connect. We can have a discovery call, or a lot of people talk online coffee, virtual coffee. It's all the same thing, right? Getting to know each other. So if let's pretend you and I were going to have a discovery call. I reached out to you and we were going to do it. What would we talk about, Kristina? How would you guide that call or set us up for building our relationship?
Yeah, it was, we met, let's say for now, 3 or 4 years ago. I cannot be, but it was amazing because I saw what you do, and I'm absolutely, for me, it was amazing. You're very experienced, you're a coach, and we had I think that we had a strategy session call, and for me, it was very, very exciting because you are so far away, and you said, I sit here, I'm connected globally, as I am, and you, Sarah, as well. And it was like, oh, I really love what you do. You're just really experienced person, and you can share. And we made me. I cannot remember now, but maybe we were talking about our challenges in business, what we do, and especially in women networking and relationship to help women entrepreneurs. So yeah, it was super, super excited. And after that, exciting, and we connected, and you said, I would love to be your guest speaker and on podcast, and it was lovely. It was amazing, and I was like, okay, this is superpower for me to move forward and put my energy in that space and just being challenged in some way, because
that's my favorite thing.
It's much more easier because I'm a podcaster as well, and podcasting many women entrepreneurs, but to be honest, in men as well. So, but mostly women.
But I think that's a good point. When we first met and we decided to just have a short, and it wasn't a long conversation. My memory is it wasn't all that long, but by the end of it, we had enough sense of one another that we decided I wanted you on the podcast, right? But we could have just as easily said, hey, let's do a workshop, or could, a friend of mine's asking about something. I think, Kristina, you might be able to help them. Could I introduce you? I mean, really, there was no expectation going into that call other than getting to know each other, right?
Yes, but in that way, but we still collaborate in terms in podcasting to be, a guest speaker. And what I love to do is to nurture my connection.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
How are you? It was a long time ago, and I was thinking, or I just have my new connections, or some new friends, or some new customers, and I can send them, say that, hey, I know Sarah Box. I can connect you with amazing lady who can guide you through podcasts, and so this is how we build, and I love this long-term relationship. Anyway, we are in collaboration in that way, but we didn't. You didn't say, hey, I have client for you at the moment. So this is the way how we collaborate without obligation.
So do you think, in your experience, do you think women are more prone to collaborate like that, just kind of organically, like, I've got this friend or this friend? Or do you think we need, as women, to be super structured about it? What have you learned as you're coaching folks?
My coaching, as I said, mostly what I do is organically. To connect, do referral marketing, connection, mostly connection. And for all these 12 years, as I said, I travel around in front of my computer all around the world in area, in the area of web and graphic design and digital marketing. And my career, I think that this is one way, but I think that we need to be a little bit structured, because we need to, sometimes we can connect, we can say, this is my friend, this is referral, but sometimes, we can feel exhausted because, and you can do it, but you don't see results. You don't have a client, you don't get income. And it's not going to be a hobby, we want it to be a business. And then I think that we can just move from that comfort zone and structure it and think about how we can, in terms to connect with potential clients, we need to filter. Sometimes, we can connect it and build relationship. This is never ending story, but somehow we need to build structuring in terms to filter and connect in terms to get clients. I mean, this is from my experience.
That's a really good point of building structure, because we're trying to accomplish something, right? Which is different than just connecting to use people, but being really intentional. So if this is my business, let's say, I'm not going to just connect with everybody to have a lot of connections. I'm really going to try and connect with people who I think my business or my team or whatever could help to serve, right? Otherwise, we do get exhausted because we're trying to get everybody in one place and they don't belong in one place. So since the pandemic, because you've been online, you've been doing online marketing from the get-go, you're super experienced in that area, but how has how you work with people changed since the pandemic?
Do you think how I changed approach to
either
people,
yes,
or
either,
how people change?
Both. I'm asking both. So let's start with, how have you changed your approach? Have you?
To be honest, I didn't change. I don't change a lot approach, but I see that people change in terms, especially people who get in that way to work from home, to work online, and it was like here, because there are many people who, just it was like for them they weren't stuck. And my job and was to encourage them to move forward and don't be stuck. Just, this is a part of our life, like in behind many years ago, and I encourage them and I try to help them to figure out, to resolve their problems and to move forward, And also in that way, I changed my my mindset about my business, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, who I wanted to become next year. And I think that all these kind of things and this pandemic changes people's life, in approach,
I do. I think there's been a lot of those questions. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't read research or really know, is it more predominant among women, solopreneurs or whatever, but I do think that question of who do I want to be next year, next week, 10 years from now, whatever, and what do I need to do to align with that are questions I hear people asking more often than before, and to be able to have a space like you provide to explore that, make sure that what they're communicating in their websites are congruent with that, just feels like it's good timing.
Yes, and we always have to be in the present moment now to see where we wanted to go and who we wanted to be. And this is for me also. Yeah. And I had time to start my coaching program. This is the other part of, to move from, yes, I'm still in web and graphic design as a marketing manager, as a project manager, and work in sales and connect with clients organically and and leads and prospects, but also I wanted to do something which is, I get new skills. For example, I start designing. I started, I wrote my coaching program, and in that, as a coach, I have something because, as a course, let's say, and we can talk about a little bit later. So yeah, this is really amazing.
No, let's talk about it now. I think that's a perfect transition. Let's talk about your coaching, how you're evolving into that, and what you're learning.
Yeah, I say, my coaching, it's as you mentioned, how to build online presence, how to create digital marketing plan strategy, SEO for your business organically. How to, and this is there are 3 programs which tools for digital marketing to use, and how people can to build their website by own self, and this is really good, and I'm super excited. But yeah, and this part also is included in my partners program. So if I can speak about it.
Please. Absolutely. Let's talk about Dr. Terry and your partnership and what you guys are up to. Tell our listeners who Terry is.
Dr. Terry McIver is a doctor science. He comes from math and chemistry. He is transformational and transformative coach, NLP, hypnotherapy practitioner, and he runs his ICR Academy for mathematics, science, engineering, and medicine. He's based in Northern Ireland, and yes, this is he's a executive contributor of Brains magazine, and we met in terms of we had a call, we had discovery call. I read his article and this is how we started, but now he's in that way that we create and we started and connecting and had a couple of our connections, and then we realized that we can work together, and we created our Quantum Business for Success program, which includes, and in that way, it's a science-based on biochemistry, neuroscience, psychology, NLP, hypnotherapy, and the other part is how to build your online presence. This is my quantum business marketing, which what I wrote about in this program is about how to build your online presence, digital marketing plan strategy, SEO, sales funnel. This is a really huge and long program, which I'm super powerful, and this is our brand, and I started building that brand from, let's say, in April this year. So in September, we launched our mastermind Facebook group, and we have our page, ignlp.ie /mastermind group, and Quantum Business Mastermind group. So this is really amazing. And we have our YouTube channel also. But the point is how to become quantum leader, to have a holistic approach on that. And also we call that quantum neurotransformation or transformative therapy.
Okay.
So this is really amazing about quantum.
So define for me what a quantum leader is. What is a quantum leader? How would I recognize someone as a quantum leader?
Is when you can use all your new approach on holistic way to engage all of your new, let's say, new technology, everything what you can give from, is it, energy, from your knowledge, your experience, everything to be quantum business leader. and to go and to get out of your comfort zone and lead, or for example, a quantum business practitioner. Because when we do it, this is international, because they can get international certification for people for entrepreneurs who get in our program. And also we work especially with people who are in well-being industry, let's say business owners, coaches, Reiki practitioners, yoga trainers, ordinary doctors, nurses, and this is kind of how to be a quantum business practitioner. So all these kind of things our listener can read on ignlp.ie.
We'll have that in the show notes. Anybody listening who's thinking, oh, I think I got that address down, don't worry about it. It's in the show notes. Kristina's also put some other cool links in the show notes. So, Kristina, I know that you just launched this in September, so that's really recently. But through your work together, are there any examples of transformation that either you or Dr. Terry could share with us? I know he's not able to be with us today, but since you guys are working together and you know each other so well, is there a story that kind of exemplifies what being in this community, the mastermind, might be like?
Yes. Yeah. First, I want to say about me. I see many transformative, I transform myself because, as I said, I get new skills, started design, started, we do, as I said, I do podcast in my group from Entrepreneurs Day, KSM Consulting. This is my coaching, but also I saw that I moved from my comfort zone, and there is like a 3 principles coaching also. And if I didn't mention hypnotherapy, do much more meditation, move from all this kind of stuff, because we are 95%. We do use our subconscious mind and 5% conscious mind. So I want to learn about neuroscience, for example, and many other things. I started creating websites because I didn't do that. Because what? I wanted to move forward and see which are my new skills. And this also for our mastermind group, people can join us. We have a Zoom call per week to encourage them they can see about our program and to read much more about how to become a quantum leader.
So we've got a link to that page. We will have it in our show notes for folks who want to check it out, because that would be a good way to learn more about how to become a quantum leader, what you might expect. You already heard Kristina talk about some of the changes she experienced in herself. And actually, it sounds like you really blossomed into a lot of new areas.
Dr. Terry, he is a transformative coach. So in some way, he's my coach in some way, and he helps me to move forward because I'm the business and most digital marketing coach. So as we put our expertise and knowledge and all this kind of stuff, and I was also I was guest writer in Brains magazine and wrote about SEO for your business. And yes, and this is this you can see what I wanted to say that and say very great wording about building partnership and building brand, because if you have something you can build it, and your knowledge, and sometimes this partnership and joint venture partnering, whatever may be, just can move you forward and you can achieve your goals and your dreams. This is the way, because I work with men, but also females, women entrepreneurs can work together. Why not?
Oh, absolutely.
In the next podcast, I will speak about my other project next year, but this is now good enough.
Yeah, get back to me next year.
Talking about connection and partnership, which is so great.
Yeah, there's been we've talked about a lot of different things on this podcast. I just want to reiterate, though, that sometimes you might not expect how powerful a partnership can be for you until you just trust someone and say, let's try this, and then you find that you've changed, they've changed, because each brings something to the relationship.
And what I want to say that people who saw me, who connected with me, like Dr. Chari, and the other day, he said, hey, can we work together? And he said, okay. So when you do something and people see your, portfolio or see you somewhere or some networking events, they just connected. And this is, as I say, energetical side. When people, you need to be on the same level sometimes, and people come to you and wanted to work with you. So this is really amazing. I have never thinking about it. I'm thinking, but I didn't know that I will be partner of something. It was not, and you can see your skills. You can see your transformation. You can see your, this is really awesome.
I can tell that makes you excited and happy about that, right?
Yeah, I'm super happy.
Yeah.
I'm super happy, really.
Absolutely. So before we wrap the podcast, I know that you have offered a free gift. So can you tell our listeners what the gift is? And remember, we'll have the links in our show notes, so they don't have to go far to grab that link. So what is the gift, Kristina?
The gift is you will get a book, ebook, 7 Secrets to Sales. And you can go and download it on the page www.salesdoctor.net. And I think that is in Amazon as well, but you can go there and download it on this page, www.salesdoctor.net.
And that will be in our show notes. So, Kristina, I want to thank you for coming back 3 years after our first conversation, a little more because we got to know each other first. It's fun to see changes that have happened for folks and just see your success in this new partnership and your new business. And I love that you've just kind of broken out and added all of this other dimension in your life.
Yes, for sure. And I want to share with all listeners, they can just really try and never give up from your dreams. Just be open-minded to create new reality, to move forward, to be happy.
All right. And with that, No Labels, No Limits podcast listeners, I want to say thank you for listening to this week's episode. Come back for another episode next week. But in the meantime, do us a favor. If you like this episode, if you learned something from Kristina that you've been waiting to learn and you had an aha moment, please like the episode and share it with a friend, because somebody out there who you might not know yet needs to hear Kristina's message. So I like to share these because I know that we get information at a time when we least expect it sometimes, but most need it. And with that, we'll see you next week for another episode of the No Labels, No Limits podcast.
You've been listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author, change agent, and strategic vision coach, Sarah Box. You can grab the show notes and find out how to work with Sarah at sarahbox.com/No Labels, No Limits podcast. We'd love this podcast to reach as many people as possible. So please remember to rate, leave a 5-star review, and share the podcast with someone you think would get value from this conversation. Until next time, keep taking those daily action steps to align your purpose to your principles and achieve your goals in business and life.